A girl named Long Chen Tao fumes over an evil villain family. She recalls the family head, a crazy old man named Long Chen Lai. She lists the villainous sons, dismayed they share her last name. Her righteous rant is suddenly cut short. She screams, falling through a mysterious hole and wondering if she is dead. Reborn, she finds herself an adorable baby. She panics, realizing she's in a lavish, unfamiliar mansion. The baby girl looks around, completely bewildered by her surroundings. A tall, handsome man with black hair towers over her. The man holds her aloft, questioning if she's really his daughter. Seeing her reflection, she realizes she has transmigrated into Long Chen Tao. She panics, overwhelmed by her impossible new reality. The menacing man threatens to throw her out if she keeps crying. A new man arrives, insisting she is Mr. Longchen's real daughter. The man who brought her then cheekily asks for compensation. As the man's flashbacks reveal his scheme, Mr. Longchen demands the mother's name. Panicked, the man confesses to stealing the child, but maintains his story. The kidnapper begs for mercy from a furious Mr. Long. Mr. Longchen's expression remains cold and unforgiving. An armed man in sunglasses arrives, ready to follow Mr. Longchen Li's orders. A butler figure scolds the kidnapper for his blatant deception. With a hiccup of fear, she witnesses a body being dragged away with a sickening splut. He coldly drops her, telling the crying baby to stand on her own. Terrified and miserable, she continues to sob uncontrollably. Peeking out, she freezes upon seeing an armed guard by the door. She clings to the man's leg, desperately begging not to be abandoned. He scorns her heartfelt plea, calling her a little liar. In a desperate gambit, she tearfully begs him to at least verify her identity. Her bold negotiation intrigues him. He agrees to let her stay if she's his true daughter. Leaning close, he issues a chilling final warning. "You're dead, little brat." In bed, she realizes she's arrived years before the novel's main story begins. Realizing the villain Long Chen Lai never had a daughter, she concludes she's an imposter and must escape. Believing the coast is clear, she stealthily begins her escape. Her simple escape plan quickly devolves into a confusing maze. Lost and tired, she wanders the vast, creepy mansion alone. Cursing the scary house, she finally spots what looks like an exit. Her joyful dash toward freedom is cut short as someone grabs her from behind. A young, white-haired boy stands over her, demanding to know who she is. She recognizes the boy from a portrait as the family's third son. He aggressively leans in, demanding an answer from the stunned girl. As she panics for an answer, she's suddenly snatched up again. The family butler appears, and she feels a wave of immense relief. The young master Long Chen Yi demands the butler identify the strange girl. The butler calmly explains that she might be the master's daughter, pending test results. The butler carries her away, leaving the young master standing alone in the dark. Long Chen Yi is left completely stunned by the news of a potential sister. The kind butler tucks her safely into a large, ornate bed. She thanks the butler as he wishes her sweet dreams. The door closes on her first, chaotic night in the mansion. But once alone, she sits up with a determined smirk, a new plan already forming. Saying goodbye to the villain family, she trudges through a vast, moonlit maze, exhausted. Ow! Her escape attempt ends with a painful faceplant on the stone path. Dazed, she sits up and stares at a beautiful, moonlit garden. She screams in despair, realizing the massive estate has no exit. Whimpering, she curls into a ball, lamenting her miserable fate. She recalls her previous life as a corporate slave, finding her new life just as miserable. A new fire lights in her eyes. She resolves to survive by charming the villains first. The next morning dawns on the sprawling, sunlit mansion. Dressed in a tiny apron, she stands ready in the kitchen. She declares her plan to conquer their hearts with delicious food. A flashback reveals her past self was a skilled cook who lived alone. She realizes her tiny new body will make cooking a challenge. With a grunt and a jump, she finally gets a stool into place. Her eyes sparkle with delight at the well-stocked kitchen pantry. With determined resolve, she decides to make sandwiches. After a flurry of cooking, she proudly presents a perfect stack of pancakes. A sudden voice from behind asks what she's doing. Her father and the white-haired boy, Long Chen Yi, appear as he yells to shut up.
She happily offers them breakfast, privately noting the brother is a handful.
Her father questions if she made it, while Long Chen Yi scoffs at the simple meal. Her father takes a bite, admitting it's not bad as she gapes in shock. Yay! She celebrates her victory, crediting her secret ingredients. She's thrilled that her plan to win over her daddy is working. Long Chen Yi panics, determined not to let her steal his father's affection.
At a comically long table, the boy sits isolated from his father and the girl.
He nervously eyes the stack of pancakes placed before him. She glances over, noticing her brother is still sulking. With hopeful, sparkling eyes, she encourages him to try the food. He loudly refuses, but his stomach betrays him with a loud grumble.
Feeling jealous and aggrieved, he begrudgingly takes a bite.
His eyes go wide as he's overwhelmed by the absolutely divine flavor. She smiles sweetly, asking if her big brother likes it.
Crash. Startled, she watches as he throws his cutlery down.
He forcefully declares that the food is disgusting. Both children are frozen in shock by his sudden outburst. Their father coldly asks Long Chen Yi who taught him to throw things. Terrified by his father's tone, the boy begins to hiccup and cry. The girl cheerfully offers to make her big brother whatever he likes next time. Her father sees through her act, accusing her of trying to win them over. She nervously denies his accusation, insisting she simply loves to cook.
He leans in with a dark smile, warning her the test results are coming soon.
Defeated, she realizes the armed guards make her escape plan even harder. From the brother's perspective, he watches his father smile at the girl and is annoyed. Long Chen Yi excitedly asks his father to attend his sports day tomorrow. His father coldly refuses, stating he's too busy, much to his son's dismay. She sees a new opportunity. A school event is the perfect chance to escape. She eagerly asks her father to take her to her brother's sports day. Her father looks down at her, questioning her reason for wanting to go. She explains with wide-eyed innocence that she's never been to a sports day. To her brother's shock, she adds that she wants to cheer him on. The white-haired boy blushes, surprised by her offer.
He recalls his lonely competitions, where no one ever cheered for him.
He stubbornly rejects her offer, as she thinks he's way too stubborn. The father agrees to go, citing his own business there. Yes, she inwardly celebrates the success of her escape plan. He jumps up, excitedly asking if his father is really coming. He resolves to win first place to earn his father's attention. The scene shifts to the bright and bustling school on sports day. Dressed for the event, she happily calls out upon arrival.
Ha ha ha, she laughs, overjoyed to finally be outside the mansion. Her father suddenly lifts her, warning her not to get lost.
She agrees nervously, her escape momentarily thwarted. She notes her brother is still sulking stubbornly. He steels himself, determined to show off his skills today. The stadium buzzes with the chatter of students and parents. On the field, he fumbles nervously with his name tag. He starts to cry, unable to reach his back to put on the tag.
He watches another father cheerfully help his son, feeling a pang of jealousy.
From the stands, she realizes he can't put on his own name tag.
She's annoyed by her father's arrogant and aloof posture. Seeing an opportunity, she hatches a new plan. She tearfully offers to help her third brother with his name tag. He eyes her suspiciously as she presents the name tag. She struggles to reach his back, complaining that it's too difficult. She calls out to her father, asking him to help instead. With hopeful eyes, the boy timidly asks his father for help. The father silently takes the name tag, his expression unreadable. Thump, his heart pounds as his father commands him to turn around. Overcome with joy as his father helps, he reconsiders his feelings about the girl. As father and son share a moment, she sees the perfect chance to escape. She tries to sneak away, but her father questions her. She claims she's just exercising to warm up, but quickly tires. He smirks, revealing he knew she was trying to run away. She plays innocent, asking for money for a drink as part of a new plan. Intrigued by her audacity, he asks what she wants to drink. Annoyed by his questions, she sweetly requests a complicated strawberry drink. Snap! With a simple gesture, he summons the butler.
The butler instantly appears with her drink. Surprised, she changes her order to something sour instead.
A glass of lemonade instantly materializes before her astonished eyes. She cheekily lists an impossible number of elaborate drinks. To her shock, the butler presents every single drink she requested, calling her bluff. Defeated, she claims she isn't thirsty and pivots to asking for dessert. The butler reveals a mountain of desserts, explaining her father ordered a wide variety. She scoffs that her father doesn't know her favorite fruit, only for the butler to reveal an entire truck full of them. An announcement signals the start of the match. He lifts her onto his lap, declaring it's time to watch the match. From the field, her brother looks into the stands, confused. He realizes her kindness was a trick to steal his father's affection. A sweet fantasy shows the siblings lovingly embracing. With confetti in the air, the competition officially begins. He aims his bow, determined to win every match for his father's attention. Determined to be the center of attention, he soars through the air. Proudly wearing his medals, he's sure his father is watching him. He boasts about winning 2 events and is thrilled by his father's praise. But his father coldly states a Longchen should have won all 3. Crushed, the boy sadly looks at his medals, his joy gone. She pities the poor kid, cementing her resolve to escape this cold family. Ow! Claiming a stomachache, she asks to use the bathroom, but her father offers to take her. Struggling, she insists she can go alone, privately panicking about her foiled escape plan. Her brother watches jealously, wondering why she gets all their father's attention. A dark thought crosses his mind. Everything would be fine if she just disappeared. The scene shifts to a large brick school building. A breeze rustles through the sunlit trees on the school grounds. An older man rushes over, inviting Mr. Longchen to a board meeting. Yes! She celebrates internally, seeing her golden opportunity to escape. Her father bluntly refuses the invitation, shattering her hopes. Ugh! She grabs her father's face, insisting he must attend the important meeting. She flatters him about being handsome, getting the man's eager agreement. Her brother steps in, offering to watch his little sister for him. Good job! She gives her brother a mental thumbs up for being so clever. Wah! She launches herself at her surprised brother for a hug. Her father tells her not to wander off, as her brother notes how heavy she is. Together, the siblings declare their love for each other, putting on a show for their father. They watch as their father is led away by the school's dean. Sud. The moment he's gone, her brother drops her onto the ground. Sniff, sniff, she looks up at him with wide, teary eyes. He smirks devilishly, announcing he's taking her to the bathroom. She sees through his childish act, deciding she can use this to her advantage. He leads her to a secluded courtyard, announcing their arrival. He points to a door, but she feigns fear. He promises to wait right outside for her. Flash! He shoves her inside and slams the door shut. Whew, she scoffs, thinking he's naive to believe a locked door can stop her. She turns toward the window, her secret escape route. Hee hee hee, she grins triumphantly, certain of her impending freedom. Her triumphant smile vanishes as she stares in confusion. It's over. She realizes with horror that the window is sealed shut. A heavy feeling creeps over her as she notices the darkness. Standing alone in the dark, empty room, she begins to feel true fear. A traumatic flashback shows her being bullied and locked in a dark room. In her memory, she sits alone and terrified in the oppressive darkness. Shaking, she tries to calm herself, but a bloody handprint on the wall makes her gasp. What is that? She stares in terror at the disturbing stain. The scene returns to the sunny exterior of the school building. The dean thanks Mr. Longchen and invites him to present the Sports Day Awards. Panting, her brother runs up, announcing that his little sister has run away. Her father glances dismissively as the boy insists it's true, holding out a goodbye letter. He reads the childish note aloud before calmly concluding that she's really gone. Her brother defends his father, but notes a typo in the letter he forged. No way! He internally panics, realizing his plan has a fatal flaw. The dean chuckles, remarking on Long Ten-Yi's competitive nature. Terrified, the boy looks up as his father looms over him, demanding, "Where is she?" His father gives a chilling warning about the consequences of lying. The scene shifts to a sunlit, empty school courtyard. Creak! Inside the dark room, she finds a broom just as a rat appears. Terrified of the rats, she swings the broom wildly to fend them off. The door suddenly opens and she looks up in wide-eyed relief. Her father stands silhouetted in the doorway, his expression severe. With tears in her eyes, she timidly calls out to her daddy. Wah! She lets out a shrill scream, pointing at a rat by her feet. Eek! From the rat's perspective, the girl is a terrifying little tiger. She puffs out her chest, thinking her father's scary presence scared the rat away. He calmly beckons for her to come to him. Wah! She rushes forward and clings to his leg, crying for her daddy. Surprised by her sudden affection, he looks down, momentarily confused. Sobbing, she clings to him, crying that he's finally here to save her. He kneels down, gently placing a hand on her head. She launches herself into his arms, sobbing his name. Clutching his suit, she continues to cry into his shoulder. He awkwardly holds her, silently patting her back in comfort. Her brother appears, cautiously admitting to his father that he was wrong. He turns to his sister and shouts a very loud apology. Her father states that her brother deserves punishment and she doesn't have to forgive him. The boy cries, believing they're both meanies who are going to punish him. Fuming with rage, the little girl clenches her fists. She angrily stomps away from her father, leaving him behind. Her brother panics, certain she's going to get him in trouble. She innocently asks her brother if he didn't mean to do it, confusing him. She sweetly declares that Tao Tao forgives her big brother. Shocked and blushing, he's flustered by her sudden forgiveness. She leans in close, asking if he promises never to do it again. Blushing, he hesitantly promises that he won't. She throws her arms around him, declaring he's the best third brother. Embarrassed by the praise, he stammers that it's no big deal. Watching them, her father thinks that this little girl is remarkably clever. An announcement calls athletes to the 100-meter track finals. She cheers enthusiastically, shouting for her brother to win first place. On the field, he covers his ears, embarrassed by her loud cheering. The scene focuses on the number 1 painted on the starting line. At the starting line, he steels himself as the race is about to begin. He remembers her words, his eyes filled with new determination.
Go, the race begins, and he resolves to win first place.
He takes the lead while she screams encouragement from the stands.
His feet pound against the track as he sprints forward.
He suddenly trips and falls hard, shocking his sister. Wincing on the ground, he mutters that the fall really hurt. He watches in dismay as the other runners pull ahead of him.
Looking to the stands, he sees his father and sister watching him. He tells himself to get up, knowing his family is watching.
Fueled by determination, he pushes himself back up and starts running.
An announcement congratulates the winners as he crosses the finish line.
He watches as his father and sister walk onto the track toward him. A boy taunts him about getting last place, angering him. She fiercely defends her injured brother, accusing the other boy of cheating. The bully furiously tells her to shut her mouth.
Eek! The brother watches in shock as the bully moves to strike.
He grabs the bully's arm, fiercely protecting his little sister. His father kneels, asking about his injury. As the boy apologizes for losing, his father praises him, and the boy looks up in tearful disbelief. With a knowing smile, his father reveals he saw everything.
Tao Tao proudly praises her big brother for his courage.
Overcome with emotion, the boy rushes to hug his father.
Arriving at their mansion, the butler welcomes them home.
The butler finds both children asleep on their father in the car.
He gently holds his son, telling the butler he'll handle it.
He carries both children himself, shocking the butler with his gentle care.
The siblings sleep soundly together, looking adorable.
Watching them, he muses that they're much cuter while asleep. The brother, faking sleep, internally cheers that his father called him cute.
Also faking it, she pouts, wondering if she isn't cute when awake.
He gently covers them, his thoughts turning to the past.
In a memory, he consoles his crying son, telling him to be brave. He reflects that it's the first time he's felt his son truly rely on him.
He decides to teach his son wrestling. The boy is thrilled, but his sister is baffled.
Shh! He gestures for quiet, receiving a tiny mental salute. Relieved, she whispers that he's gone, barely containing her act.
She hops off the bed, calling out to her brother.
Peeking over the covers, she quietly calls for her third brother. Sneaking a peek, she makes a funny face at her motionless brother. She cautiously wonders if he's truly asleep, too scared to move. Seeing him still, she figures he cried himself to sleep. She gently comforts him, then wishes him sweet dreams. Tiptoeing away, she heads off to her own bed.
Thump, thump, his eyes fly open, his heart racing.
The next morning dawns at the magnificent family mansion. Crisis averted, she happily plans out the morning's breakfast.
As she hums in the kitchen, a shadow gets closer.
Startled, she throws an onion, which her brother catches in surprise.
Shocked, she asks her brother what he's doing in the kitchen.
He claims he's hungry and bites the raw onion, immediately regretting it.
He comically throws up a rainbow as she scolds him.
Crying, he insists he just really likes onions.
She laughs and offers breakfast choices, but he quickly accepts sandwiches.
Blushing and flustered, he stands there awkwardly. He stubbornly insists sandwiches are just convenient, not his preference. She groans internally, unable to handle his stubborn act.
He happily eats the sandwich, and she knows he secretly loves it.
Taking a big bite, she savors the delicious bacon.
He watches her eat the last bacon strip, realizing it's her favorite.
Gulp, he eyes the plate of bacon with nervous hesitation.
With grim determination, he spears a piece of bacon. He stiffly offers her the bacon, leaving her completely confused.
Thump. The girl stares in shock as a fork piled with bacon is thrust toward her face.
Her brother blushes, claiming he hates bacon and she can have his from now on.
Surrounded by question marks, she squints suspiciously, wondering what he's up to.
He gets flustered, asking why she isn't eating, and then pleading for her to eat up.
Changing tactics, she brightly points and asks her big brother for scrambled eggs. She excitedly repeats her request, her eyes sparkling as she says she wants scrambled eggs. He realizes with a pout that the scrambled eggs were her true target all along. Here, he shoves a plate of eggs at her while internally denying he ever wanted them. With arms crossed, he stubbornly declares the eggs are dry and she should finish them for him. She happily sips her milk, commenting on its deliciousness as her brother looks on. Seeing her sad that her milk is gone, he furiously orders the kitchen to bring 3 more servings. A maid brings her more milk, and she beams with a happy, "Thanks." He impatiently tells her to drink it, and she internally notes how awkward he's being. She smiles confidently, feeling she's one step closer to winning him over. Gulp. As she chugs the milk, he watches with a slight smile, thinking she must really love it. He sternly orders a staff member to ensure she gets 3 glasses of milk with every meal. Overwhelmed by 4 glasses of milk, she's passed out on the table as her brother watches in confusion. Mr. Longchen and his butler walk together, discussing the day's plans. Sitting down to breakfast, he sees a plate of pancakes and asks if she made them again. She beams, happily confirming she made more because he said he liked them. He sternly forbids her from making them again, warning her that she could get hurt. She nervously agrees while internally thinking his seriousness is scary and she needs to escape. As he eats, he tells her to leave chores to the servants, but the butler interrupts. The butler arrives with an envelope, announcing that the young lady's test results are in. The siblings look shocked, and she internally panics that her good days are now over. Her father takes the letter, wondering how the results could be ready so quickly. She urges him to open it, while internally screaming that her score is obviously 0. Her brother notices her sweating profusely and offers her a tissue. She nervously accepts the tissue, dabbing the sweat from her forehead. Overheating with anxiety, she frantically fans herself and silently screams for air conditioning. Her father silently opens the envelope, his expression unreadable. He thinks back, recalling he only let her stay because she looked so much like that woman. A beautiful image of a woman with long, flowing blonde hair appears in his memory. He scoffs to himself, convinced there's no way the child could be his daughter. The butler notes Lord Longchen's unusual interest as the man stares at the results in shock. The camera zooms in on the DNA test report, which confirms the paternity. He stares in disbelief, realizing she truly is his daughter, while she trembles under his intense gaze. Feeling the weight of his stare, she fears her time traveler secret is about to be exposed. Bang! He slams the table, furiously demanding to know, "Where is that woman?" Startled by his outburst, she looks up in wide-eyed confusion. Ah! He snatches the test result from her hands, causing her to cry out. Leaning in close, he demands to know the whereabouts of her biological mother. Staring at the paper, she's horrified to realize she's the actual daughter of the villain. Shaking, she tearfully explains that she doesn't know and only remembers waking up there. With big, teary eyes, she looks up and apologizes to her daddy. He sighs, accepting her answer with a simple, "Got it." He orders the butler to investigate, who realizes this is finally a new lead in their long search. The scene shifts to a grand library where the father searches through bookshelves. He pulls out an old photograph of himself standing with the beautiful blonde woman. Clutching a book, he thinks angrily about how she left without a word and had a child. He glares, delivering a cold warning to the woman from his past. The scene shifts to the magnificent family mansion gleaming in the morning sun. In bed, a sleepy Tao Tao complains that she was plagued by nightmares all night. Her eyes wide with wonder, she reflects on being the villain's daughter, a detail the novel never mentioned. Recalling the villain's 4 sons were doomed cannon fodder, she worries about her own fate as someone knocks. The butler enters her room, greeting her with a "Good morning, young miss." "Wow!" she gasps at a cute dress, and the butler proudly reveals her father picked it for her. Wearing her new dress, she thinks her villain dad has good taste, only to be interrupted by her third brother asking why she's not ready for breakfast. She tells her brother she's trying to braid her hair, but then wails that her arms are too short. He calls her too slow and offers to do it, leaving her to wonder if her third brother can even do hair. He scoffs confidently, claiming it's just braiding hair. He begins styling her hair as she sits happily on a small table. Tsk. He struggles with the braid, finding it much harder than he expected. "Ugh," she cries out as he pulls her hair, panicking at the thought of going bald. He reassures her, telling her to trust him as he focuses intently on her hair. Standing back, he proudly declares his work perfect, while she stares unimpressed at her disastrous hairdo. She sarcastically praises his tree branch style, a single sad ponytail sticking straight up. Her father appears, asking what's taking them so long as she exclaims, "Daddy!" She nervously explains that they're braiding her hair. He stares silently with a look of clear disapproval, which she immediately notices. He suddenly offers to try, shocking both children into disbelief. With a confident he crosses his arms as the third brother looks on in awe, calling him amazing. She stares in the mirror at her new, even worse hairstyle, wondering what he's so proud of. She tearfully mourns her fallen hair, revealing she names every single strand. While the third brother praises their father, she internally calls them both dummies. She erupts in frustration, calling them dummies and declaring she'll do it herself, stunning them both. She reappears with perfectly braided pigtails, apologizing to her father and brother for the wait. At the dining table, her father says, "Let's eat," and she happily agrees. Wow, her eyes sparkle with delight at a heaping plate of bacon. She sweetly thanks her third brother, who blushes and tells her not to mention it. He then vehemently denies bringing the bacon, while she mutters sarcastically under her breath. She playfully agrees with him as her father watches them from the head of the table. Happily eating, she decides staying with the villain family might not be so bad after all. A red-haired boy announces his return, and Tao Tao looks up from her father. She realizes with a shock that this is Long Chen Feng, the villain's second son, and a total lunatic from the novel. Fang leans in close with a sly grin, asking if she's their new little sister. Her third brother excitedly confirms that she is, indeed, their sister. Their father formally introduces her as Long Chen Tao and instructs his sons to take care of her. Fang smiles, delighted that he came back from summer camp to find a new little sister. He cheerfully offers his new sister a piece of candy. She freezes in terror, remembering the novel described him as a poison master who messes with food. Seeing her hesitation, he looks disappointed and asks if she dislikes candy. She quickly accepts, exclaiming that Tao Tao loves candy. However, she cleverly states she'll eat breakfast first and have the candy later. Changing tactics, he offers to let her try his new special pepper powder, shaking it all over her food. He gives her a sinister smile, urging her to try the tasty seasoning. She sweats in terror, wondering if she's really about to be forced to eat his concoction. Late that night, her father is seen reading intently, only for the book to be revealed as a hairstyle catalog. In a dark, grand bedroom, he mutters to himself, practicing the steps for making braids. In his own bed, the third brother talks in his sleep, praising the braids he made earlier. A young girl recoils in horror from a piece of bacon, wondering if she has to eat it. Her black-haired father gently tells her not to force herself to eat if she doesn't want to. Her white-haired brother warns another not to give the baby his invention, as it made him sick. Blushing, The white-haired brother denies he's helping for her sake, as she thinks sarcastically. The red-haired brother looks on, confused by the sudden turn of events.
The tense atmosphere of the dining hall is shown from a distance.
The red-haired brother thinks it's interesting his father and brother defended her, then suggests she not eat the food.
With a menacing grin, he takes the fork himself, startling his little sister.
He happily eats the bacon, declaring it's delicious, leaving her in utter shock.
Looking dejected, he sadly wonders if anyone likes the things he makes. He gently pats her head, causing her to freeze in place. As he touches her cheek, she thinks he feels freezing cold, and he promises to find something she'll love. She forces a smile and thanks him, but inwardly despairs that her peaceful life is now over. The scene shifts to the red-haired brother working in a lab filled with glowing chemicals. In a grand hallway, two maids gossip about how the master and third young master dote on the little miss.
One maid nervously greets the red-haired second young master, who menacingly asks if she wants to join his experiment. The two maids bow in terror, profusely apologizing for disturbing him. Musing on how much everyone loves his little sister, he carefully adds a drop to a beaker.
A close-up shows a purple potion bubbling ominously inside a test tube.
I'm unable to read that text out loud. Is there anything else I can help you with?
The next day begins in a sunlit, ornate room.
The little girl wakes up, worrying about her brother's dark fates from the novel she read. She recalls the tragic story of her second brother, Longchen Fang, who fell for the heroine, tried to poison his rival, and died by his own hand. She realizes, determined, she resolves that she cannot let her family suffer their tragic ends from the book. She desperately wonders how she can possibly stop her villain family from meeting their fated doom. Hearing a knock, she rushes to the door, surprised by such an early visitor. She cautiously peeks out, asking who could be there. Her red-haired brother greets her with a smile and a basket, leaving her stammering his name. He cheerily announces he's brought gifts for his darling sister. He presents a basket of suspiciously perfect fruit, and she internally panics at the thought of eating it. Putting on a brave face, she nervously welcomes him inside. He enters with a sly grin while she stands aside, filled with dread. She realizes she needs to prioritize saving her own life before she can even think of saving her family. He eagerly offers her the basket of tasty snacks he made for her. She laughs nervously, trying to deflect by saying he was supposed to buy her snacks, not make them. He presents a strange-looking cake, claiming he just mixed the ingredients, giving her a very weird vibe. She tries to be polite about his hard work, but her inner self is disgusted by his terrible cooking. Staring at the awful-looking cakes, she steels herself to just bear it, wondering how anyone could eat them. Ugh, overcome with disgust, she gags and spits out a rainbow of revulsion. Her brother sits down, telling her to just pick one and acting shy. He leans in with a sinister smile, urging her to eat the flavor she likes best. Feeling pressured by his expectant stare, she realizes she has no choice but to pick one. Gulp, she hesitantly reaches for a cake, thinking it must be poisoned. With strong willpower, she resists eating, but worries she can't get rid of him otherwise. A clever idea strikes, and she claims she loves the snacks but is too full from dinner to eat. Tap tap. She cleverly asks if she can have the empty bamboo basket instead. She cheerfully thanks her brother for the gift of the basket. Chomp. He casually eats one of his own creations, shocking her with his bravery. He gives a knowing smile, impressed that his clever little sister knows how to choose. The red-haired boy grins, noting her fondness for the smell of bamboo. Holding a basket, she innocently asks if she can take a sniff. A wispy purple energy emanates from the basket. Her eyes sparkle as she confirms there's a pleasant, light bamboo scent.
She happily declares she'll treasure his gift, and he says he's glad she likes it.
He smirks, counting down from 1 with a sinister look.
Her eyes widen in sudden, sweat-drenched terror.
She drops the basket, collapsing to the floor and crying out that her stomach hurts.
In tears, she desperately reaches out, begging her second brother for an antidote.
He crosses his arms, coldly stating he didn't make an antidote and blaming her for changing his family.
She reaches for him again, weakly calling his name.
Curled on the floor in pain, she thinks she finally felt like she belonged. Wiping her tears, she stands up, muttering about the rotten brat. Hey! She suddenly leaps into the air, lunging toward her startled brother, who cries, "What?"
Whoa! She clings to his back as he stumbles forward in surprise.
She smiles triumphantly, declaring she'll fight his poison with her own.
She urges him to smell the basket, but he struggles, telling her to let go. Holding on with a super tight grip, she insists on sharing the gift he gave her.
As they both begin to sweat, a rumbling sound of doom echoes between them.
They both frantically shout for the bathroom, each demanding to go first.
The two shove each other, fighting to get to the bathroom first. A silver-haired boy with golden eyes looks on, confused.
He sees them running, happily thinking his big brother and little sister are getting along so well.
The red-haired boy sprints down the hall, screaming for the bathroom.
He reaches the door first, panting with a victorious smirk.
She yells for her third brother, promising a sandwich if he helps her catch their big brother.
The third brother excitedly demands double eggs and sausage as a shocked Fang looks on. Peeking around the doorframe, Tao Tao playfully announces she got there first. His victory is cut short as he freezes in place. His third brother clings to him, pointing out that his tummy just growled, while Fang tells him to let go. Hiss! Fang walks away defeated as his sister asks if he's okay. The scene pulls back to show all 3 children collapsed on the living room furniture, exhausted. Fang claps slowly, sarcastically congratulating his little sister. She puffs out her cheeks, returning the sentiment, while thinking her butt is on fire from his prank. He rests his chin on his hand, already planning how to get her back next time. Standing defiantly on the couch, she declares she won't give up. Her father appears, gently picking her up as she calls out, "Daddy!" Cuddled in his arms, she realizes her sneaky brother is scared of their daddy too. She starts to tattle on her big brother for what he did. Before she can finish, she changes her mind and happily says he gave her a wonderful gift. Her father pinches her cheek, noting that she seems to really like Fang. He instructs Fang to take good care of his little sister, and Fang reluctantly agrees while hugging her. Their father pinches her other cheek as she giggles, and he inwardly notes how nice it feels. With a fiery stare, she tells Fang he's no match for her, deciding it's better to pacify him for now instead of telling their father. The third brother wonders what they're doing. The third brother interrupts their intense stare-down, asking if they're playing a staring game and wanting to join.
The 3 siblings are now seen lying upside down on the couch together.
The third brother yawns, saying that was fun and they should get their fourth brother to join next time. She cheerfully agrees, privately noting how chill her third brother has become. Fang wonders if his little sister will play with them again, while Tao Tao thinks he's a lost cause and decides to go play by herself. As she walks away, Fang watches her go, a thoughtful expression on his face. Fang smirks, thinking it's fun to have a little sister who stands up to him. The new day dawns upon the magnificent family mansion. Tucked in bed, Tao Tao murmurs in her sleep. Wah! She jolts awake from a nightmare, crying out in fear. A maid peeks in as Tao Tao sits up, groggy and confused. Maid Kelly cheerfully greets her, telling the little miss it's time to wake up. As the maid ties a bow in her hair, Tao Tao thinks she's had nightmares ever since Fang returned. The maid asks if she likes her new hairstyle, and Tao Tao explains that it's cute. Her eyes sparkle with joy as she declares she totally loves it. She gives maid Kelly a big hug, thinking her sad heart feels a bit better. The maid picks her up to change her clothes, and Tao Tao happily agrees. Her third brother pulls out her chair at the dining table as she thanks him. Her father gently wipes her face, announcing it's time to eat. Tao Tao and her third brother greet Feng, who seems increasingly annoyed. Feng says he's heading to tutoring, but his father orders him to take his sister along. With a sinister smile, Feng readily agrees to his father's request. Tao Tao nervously tries to protest, but her words trail off. Her third brother quickly declares he loves both tutoring and playing with his sister. Their father smirks, pointedly asking his third son if he doesn't hate tutoring. Her two brothers swing her between them as they walk, telling her to be happy. She cries waterfalls, wondering why they have to drag her to tutoring. The scene shifts to a sunlit, empty classroom. The three siblings enter and politely greet their teacher, Vincent. Tutor Vincent is introduced, along with a small, serious boy named Longchen Yan. The tutor immediately scolds the brothers for being late, praising Yan for being early. Tao Tao realizes with horror that this tutor is one of the reasons her brothers turned bad. The tutor dismisses her as a foster child and a waste of time, and she thinks he's full of himself. Her third brother nervously corrects the teacher, insisting Tao Tao is their real sister. She's touched that her brother stood up for her despite being scared. The tutor sternly orders them to sit down and stop wasting his time. He begins the grammar lesson for the 4 children in the classroom. Tao Tao quietly thanks her third brother, saying his support made her feel better. He puffs his chest out, promising he has her covered, as she privately notes how easily tricked he is. Slam! The tutor smashes a book down on a desk. With a menacing glare, he threatens to throw them out if they keep talking. He praises Yan for getting first place on the school's midterm tests. The tutor turns to another student, asking about their second-to-last place result. As her third brother looks stunned, the tutor sneers at Fang for playing with creepy stuff instead of studying. The brothers look angry, and Tao Tao worries their barbarity meters are rising. Determined, she decides she must stop them from falling into darkness. Slam! She smacks the desk and shouts, "Dark!" startling her brother. She leaps onto the desk, loudly telling the teacher he can't talk about her brother that way. The enraged tutor demands she get down from the podium immediately. She quickly changes her story, claiming she was just praising her third brother's 3 sports medals. Her third brother blushes, trying to look unimpressed, but secretly feeling happy. She then praises her second brother's creative project, leaving him surprised and thoughtful. Giving a thumbs up, she's proud that her positivity has cheered up the 2 gloomy kids. She points accusingly at the teacher, scolding him for judging students he doesn't understand. Furious, the teacher accuses her of acting like a critic and declares he's done with her. She shouts back defiantly that teachers are human and can be criticized for their mistakes. She proudly defends her brother, leaving the tutor speechless and flustered. A scarred elder challenges her, proposing a banquet to expose her brother's unpopularity. She worries, knowing she can't force her brothers to attend the banquet. The elder taunts her about being unwelcome, and she thinks he's just an annoying old coot. "I'm going," she declares defiantly, turning with her third brother in mind. Her third brother appears, agreeing that banquets are fun and he wants to go. "Yay!" she cheers from the desktop as her third brother looks on. She turns in surprise, hearing that her second brother also wants to go. Ha! Her second brother, Feng, confirms with a sly smirk that he's going. Overjoyed, she gives a thumbs up, loving her brother's energetic response. The enraged tutor orders Long Chen Tao to stand in the hallway for disrupting the class.
Hey! She happily leaps from the desk, thrilled to have an excuse to skip class.
Making a heart with her hands, she cheerfully waves goodbye. Her third brother stands up for her, declaring he'll leave with her, and defying the teacher.
He insults the tutor's short legs as Tao Tao watches in surprise.
Hugging his sister, the third brother says, "Let's roll," as the scarred elder watches and agrees.
Smack! As the tutor fumes, Feng declares he's leaving too, since his siblings are gone.
The furious tutor warns Long Chen Yan not to become unruly like them. Long Chen Yan adjusts his glasses, pondering that she's his uncle's youngest daughter. The scene shifts to nightfall over the grand family mansion.
Tao Tao asks about past banquets, confidently thinking it'll be easy to win against the old geezer.
Her third brother says banquets are just for eating, and she realizes no one played with him.
Turning to Feng, she asks about his experience, a sense of dread growing within her.
He explains that people stay away from him, which he prefers, as she realizes they're both shunned.
She's shocked, finally understanding the scarred elder's smug confidence. She steels her resolve, determined to help her brothers blend in at the upcoming banquet.
A new day begins as sunlight fills the luxurious room.
She jolts awake, crying for help, as her father, Mr. Longchen, sneezes in another room.
Maid Kelly attends to her, asking if something is on her mind. Tao Tao eagerly asks Sister Kelly what kind of children grown-ups tend to like.
Kelly explains that polite and graceful children are popular at banquets, giving Tao Tao an idea.
She gives her maid a thank you kiss, and Kelly thinks she's absolutely adorable. Now dressed in a cute purple outfit, she waves goodbye, off to find her brothers.
Her two brothers sit quietly at a table, one drinking and one preparing to eat. She announces a special training regimen to make them popular, shocking her brothers.
Her third brother trembles nervously, asking if she's serious.
Shaking, she tries to demonstrate what she's learned to Sister Kelly.
Feng watches with a bored expression, muttering about her fake act.
Tsk. She points at her second brother, ordering him to stop slacking and join them. He dismisses the prep as a useless waste of energy, questioning the point of being liked.
She grabs his arm, declaring it's time for his own secret training session.
Leading him to the kitchen, she suggests they train by making beautiful desserts together.
He asks if she lied about his desserts being creative, and she insists she meant it.
He turns away, rejecting her compliments and stating he'll handle the banquet himself.
The scene shifts to a grand, crowded banquet hall. Her third brother, dressed in a dazzling uniform, makes a grand entrance.
Tao Tao follows in a beautiful dress, proud that their tough training finally paid off.
Huh? Her brother suddenly gets dizzy and stumbles, shocking her.
Eek! They both collapse as guests whisper about the freaky siblings ruining the mood. The scarred elder appears, mockingly remarking on their appearance, earning a glare from Tao Tao. A woman cries out that her priceless necklace was stolen as a thief escapes, and Tao Tao gasps in shock.
Her third brother declares, "Watch me," and heroically tackles the fleeing thief, who screams in terror. With the thief pinned, guests praise the third brother as a little hero, recognizing him as one of Mr. Long Chen's talented sons.
Tao Tao proudly boasts about her brother's talent, while Feng dismisses the scene as a freak show, firm in his negative judgment.
Feng smirks to himself, thinking there's no appreciation shown for his brother's act. Hey! A hand offers Feng a strange black bun, and he looks up in surprise.
Tao Tao declares she likes her second brother and his snacks, explaining that he just loves experimenting with unconventional recipes. Vowing to be the first to support him, she takes a huge, determined bite of the strange snack. Wow! Her eyes light up as she declares the snack is amazing, leaving a stunned Fang blushing and asking if she's serious. Cao Cao urges her anxious third brother to try the weird-looking food, and he's instantly amazed by the incredible taste. Fang laughs smugly, pleased that his siblings appreciate his culinary creations. Tutor Vincent mocks them for being ridiculous outcasts, but Cao Cao just glares back, thinking he's a crusty old man. A small blonde girl timidly asks Fang if she can please try one of his snacks, too. The sight of another child approaching them leaves another guest and the scarred elder in utter disbelief. The little girl happily munches on the snack, praising its wonderful taste and original shape. Feng blushes with pride, thanking the girl and expressing his joy that she likes his food. Stramash! A crowd of excited children suddenly swarms Feng, all clamoring to try his cool and unique snacks. Feng graciously offers his creations to the children, who delight in the delicious and unprecedented flavors. Cao Cao offers a snack to the tutor, who furiously rejects it as poison and smacks the entire tray out of Fang's hands. Fang yells in anger as his third brother rushes to his side, ready to defend him against the teacher. Cao Cao grabs the tutor, telling him to let go, as the plates and unique desserts crash and shatter on the floor. The tutor glares down at the mess and the three siblings, fuming with rage as Cao Cao realizes things have gone wrong. Her third brother tries to calm Feng, while Cao Cao hugs him, pleading with him not to be mad and promising to eat more at home. Feng winks playfully, promising to let them try his new black pepper macarons, as Cao Cao thinks her brothers are truly warm-hearted. Noise! Cao Cao angrily points at the tutor, telling him to stop causing trouble just because he's jealous of her brother's popularity. The enraged tutor declares that both brothers are unwelcome in his class from now on. Just then, their father, Mr. Longchen, makes a grand entrance, and Cao Cao happily announces his arrival. Her father scoops her into his arms, coldly stating that a teacher like Vincent doesn't deserve to teach his children. Cao Cao has a sudden realization. Vincent was her father's teacher too, which explains his arrogant behavior. Holding his daughter, Mr. Longchen fires the tutor on the spot for his lack of respect. The tutor sputters in disbelief, arguing he was personally appointed by the family head and cannot be dismissed. A stern, white-haired elder named Longchen Hongyu arrives, demanding to know who ordered Vincent to leave. Cao Cao looks up at the intimidating man, wondering who he is. She then spots a smiling blonde boy, Long Changyi, and wonders if he's her big brother. Seeing him more clearly, she confirms that the boy is indeed her older brother. The grandfather demands an explanation for the silence, and Cao Cao trembles, finding him even scarier than the villains. Tutor Vincent pleads his case to the grandfather, complaining that the eldest young master fired him after years of devoted service. Whimper, clinging to her father, Cao Cao reports that teacher Vincent was mean and called her an idiot. Her third brother speaks up, asking if he's truly useless and a nobody just because he's a sports freak, as the teacher said. Fang calmly defends the tutor, claiming it was just an accident and that he isn't mad about his ruined dessert. Other children defend Fang, confirming the dessert was good and the tutor acted deliberately, while Cao Cao accuses the teacher of acting like the head of the family. The tutor desperately tries to explain that he was only being strict to educate the children properly. Longchen Hongye, revealing an eye patch, menacingly questions if the tutor thinks he can act as the master of the house. At a signal from Longchen Ye, men in black suits seize the terrified tutor and drag him away as he begs for mercy. Cao Cao clings to her father's leg, shaken and thinking how terrifying that was. Her grandfather looks down at her, commenting on her slick tongue. As her father approaches, the grandfather sternly tells him to behave himself. Mr. Longchen looks genuinely shocked and confused by his father's words. The grandfather instructs Longchen Yi to return home and begin learning the family business from his father. Longchen Ye smiles warmly at his father, greeting him and saying it's been a while. A small, white-haired boy peeks out from behind his blonde brother, calling out to a stern-looking man with black hair. The white-haired boy excitedly tells his big brother they have a new little sister now, while the blonde-haired boy pats his head and says, The blonde-haired boy, Longchen Ye, kneels to greet the little girl, calling her Tao Tao. As she greets him back, she recalls that he's the heir. Longchen Ye gives a warm and gentle smile. Tucked in bed, Tao Tao smiles, relieved that her second brother is happy and that she can finally sleep soundly. The scene transitions to her quiet, ornate bedroom at night. In a dark room, an elderly man's silhouette is seen as he recalls his son eloping with a commoner, expresses disappointment in the carefully raised heir, Longchen Ye, and vows that the woman and her daughter, Tao Tao, are a stain that his son must be kept ignorant about. The black-haired man appears in a doorway, coolly asking what's going on. Longchen Ye puts a finger to his lips, hushing his grandpa to be quieter. Snore. Tucking a sleeping Tao Tao into bed, Longchen Yi gently wishes his little sister sweet dreams. As Longchen Ye leaves the room, his father is waiting and asks him to speak, wanting to know why he is still awake. The father stares down with a cold, intimidating expression. With his arms crossed, the father warns his son that he knows what happens if he lies. Longchen Ye smiles reassuringly, explaining that Grandpa just cares for his sister and wants to teach him well. Awakened by a creak, Tao Tao peeks out of her room, wondering about the noise outside her door. Seeing her father and brother, she asks why they are at their door and if they need to talk. Her father kneels down, pretending to be scared of the wind and asking if he can stay with her. Shocked, Tao Tao thinks to herself, a grown man scared of the wind? Faced with her father's intense gaze, a nervous Tao Tao decides it's best not to think too much about it. Whimper, her father scoops her up, declaring her silence is a yes, while she internally cries that he decided for her. Longchen Ye watches with a forlorn look as his father carries Tao Tao away down the long, dark hall. A close-up reveals Longchen Ye's sad and somber expression. Now in her father's room, Tao Tao sits on his large bed and tells him not to be scared. She brightly offers to sing him a lullaby, urging him to get into bed. Hee. Her father lies down stiffly as she sits beside him, ready to sing. Tao Tao thoughtfully considers which song to sing before having an idea. She begins singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, surprising her father. She feels confident, remembering this was the lullaby the orphanage sisters always sang to her. As she belts out the song, her father winces, thinking her singing is completely off-key. Her song becomes quieter as she sings about a mommy's hug, and he thinks it doesn't sound so bad after all. Having sung herself to sleep, she slumps against him. He gazes at his sleeping daughter, remarking to himself how much she looks like her mother. He recalls a memory of a beautiful blonde woman in a flower garden, asking if a rose looks like the sunset. In the memory, he holds her close and agrees that it does. The memory turns painful as he recalls her fading away, tearfully begging him, Longshen Hung Yu, to forget her. Her image dissipates as he wonders why she left him and how she could have had his child. Crash! He snapped from his thoughts when Tao Tao kicks him in the face, sleep-talking about snacks, making him sigh that she's not like her mom in this way. He sighs again, looking at his restless daughter. He gently pulls the covers over her and begins singing her own lullaby back to her. Tao Tao sleeps peacefully on her father's chest.
Holding her close, he thinks to himself that this doesn't feel bad at all.
The narrator explains that Tao Tao has noticed her big brother, Long Chen Ye, acting strange lately, always appearing just when she needs help. Long Chen Ye elegantly retrieves a book for Tao Tao, but it slips and hits him on the head.
Tao Tao points out that he's bleeding, which surprises him as she grows accustomed to him protecting her.
In a series of flashbacks, Tao Tao trips and calls for her brother, who always catches her just in time, making her think how gentle he is. She beams with joy, thinking that with her big brother around, she's not afraid of falling, and life couldn't be happier. Long Chen Ye takes her hand, suggesting they go eat so their father doesn't have to wait, and she happily agrees. Her father interrupts, declaring he'll carry her, and sweeping her into his arms, leaving Long Chen Ye looking disappointed.
Her father holds her gently, asking if she'd like to sleep with him again tonight.
As Tao Tao agrees, her white-haired brother bursts in, proudly displaying a test with a better score and a gold medal he won in shot put. A red-haired boy proudly shows his father a perfect test score.
His white-haired brother explains he aced the test by a fluke, thanks to his sister's doodles. She giggles, having picked key points for him.
The red-haired boy admits the flowers were cute, making Tao Tao blush bashfully.
The brothers playfully tease each other, messing up their hair as Tao Tao laughs between them.
Watching them, Long Chen Ye smiles, thinking his sister gets along well with everyone.
The white-haired boy asks his father for a vacation as a reward for their improved grades.
His father grabs him, reminding him of when he gave the staff food poisoning. But the red-haired boy retorts it's not as bad as falling in a lake.
Tao Tao looks up with sparkling eyes, excited at the idea of stargazing by the lake.
Her father agrees to the vacation, and the children cheer with joy.
However, he adds a condition that Long Chen Ye cannot go, shocking his other children.
Tao Tao clings to her father's leg, pleading that her big brother deserves to come play. Her white-haired brother agrees, arguing that the responsible Long Chen Ye can help watch over them. The red-haired brother adds that he wants Long Chen Ye to try his new cooking.
With teary eyes, Tao Tao continues to beg her father to let him come.
Her father finally relents, announcing that they will all go together, and Tao Tao cheers. The children swarm their father in a joyful group hug, thanking him. The three siblings run off to prepare, excitedly planning their outfits and snacks. The father watches Long Chen Ye, sternly warning him not to cause any trouble.
Long Chen Ye smiles reassuringly, telling his father he's overthinking things.
His father gently touches his forehead in a rare moment of affection. Surprised by the gesture, Long Chen Ye touches his own forehead, questioning his father.
His father simply turns and walks away with a faint, knowing smile.
Long Chen Ye realizes his father has been secretly watching over them and feels grateful. He reflects that his father has truly changed a lot because of his sister. Tao Tao wakes up with a giant yawn, excited for the vacation and a change of scenery. Yahoo! She happily decides to ask Sister Kelly to help her pick out a pretty dress. Crash! She suddenly runs headfirst into someone, crying out in surprise. It's her father, who notes her happy mood as she cheerfully calls out to him. In her father's arms, Tao Tao recalls envying other kids on family outings, now overjoyed to finally have her own. Her eyes widen in realization as she wonders when she started thinking of them as her true family. Her father notices her dazed look and playfully pinches her nose, asking what's wrong. She quickly recovers, fibbing that she was just thinking about what hairstyle Sister Kelly should do for her. Her father offers to do her hair himself, but she has a traumatic flashback to a previous twig hairstyle. He confidently places her on a stool, and she notes that his confident demeanor reminds her of her third brother. Putting on glasses, her father begins cramming from a book on hairstyles, much to her amusement. He focuses intently, carefully working on her hair. With a sigh of relief,
he finally announces that he is done. Wow! Cao Cao is stunned and overjoyed by her beautiful new braided hairstyle. She leaps into her father's arms, telling him she loves her pretty new hair. She's deeply touched that her villain dad would study so seriously for her sake. Trying to look cool, he brushes it off, saying it was no big deal. Her second brother peeks into the room, calling for Cao Cao to get ready. He's surprised to see their father already holding a fully dressed Cao Cao. The boy fumes with jealousy, complaining that his father beat him to braiding her hair. His father smirks, coolly telling him that's what he gets for waking up late. The other two brothers arrive with a basket of snacks, and the family prepares to leave. Long Chen Ye watches them, thinking grimly that this family outing might be the catalyst for his grandfather to force his hand. At a beautiful picnic spot, Cao Cao happily considers what other snacks she should make. Watching his children play by the lake, their father thinks he should bring them out to relax more often. The white-haired brother proudly holds up a fish he caught, vowing to catch the biggest one. The blonde boy, Long Chen Ye, asks to see what's happening. He watches his silver-haired brother fishing, amused by his younger sibling's antics. Splash! The silver-haired boy loses his footing and tumbles screaming into the water. Long Chen Ye lunges forward, grabbing his brother's shirt to stop his fall. After pulling him to safety, Long Chen Ye scolds his brother for being careless while Cao Cao looks on. He then tells them he's going to find her and to stay safe. A maid with gray hair appears, explaining that the second young master sent a basket of food for the young miss. Cao Cao excitedly greets her big brother, Long Chen Yi, who accepts the basket as she thinks about how much she's missed Feng's improved cooking. She pulls out a disturbingly realistic green caterpillar-shaped bread. Shocked, she pokes the bread, relieved to find it's not actually alive, as Long Chen Ye watches, surprised. Feng proudly reveals his new creation, the wriggly frosting worm, as his third brother nervously asks if it's edible. Cao Cao playfully yells at her mean second brother, while Long Chen Ye and Feng laugh. The siblings and their attendants enjoy a peaceful picnic by the lakeside. Feng happily presents his newest creation, a goofy-looking strawberry monster cake made especially for her. Maid Kelly lifts up a happy toddler who thanks her with a bright smile. The toddler declares the cake is delicious, but her joy is cut short when a swarm of bees suddenly descends upon her. Her three brothers cry out in alarm, warning Cao Cao to watch out. Terrified, Cao Cao cries, wondering why the angry swarm is only following her. Long Chen Ye protectively shields Cao Cao, ordering the bees to go away. Their father, Mr. Long Chen, arrives, scooping up a crying Cao Cao and calling for the butler. An eye patch-wearing butler strikes a pose with 2 cans of bug spray, announcing he's coming to help. The eye patch butler gives a confident thumbs up, reporting that the bees have been taken care of. Sobbing in her father's arms, Cao Cao whimpers that she was scared. Mr. Long Chen holds his daughter close, gently comforting her and telling her he's there. As her father carries her away, her brothers and a butler watch with concern. Long Chen Ye looks downcast, lamenting his lack of luck. Night falls over the magnificent estate by the water. Cao Cao decides it's time to coax her villain daddy to bed, feeling indispensable. Maid Kelly interrupts, reporting that the young master has urgently summoned Cao Cao to the lake. Kelly carries Cao Cao through the dark, flower-filled field toward the lake. Alone by the water's edge, Cao Cao anxiously wonders where her brother is. A hand suddenly grabs hers, and she cries out, startled by how slippery it is. Lan Chen Ye appears through the darkness, calmly asking if she's all right. Cao Cao expresses her relief, thanking him for being there to catch her. Long Chen Ye looks away into the night and dismisses someone, telling them they can go. Maid Kelly smiles and acknowledges the young master's order. Kelly advises Cao Cao to be careful, noting how often she's in danger,
but is luckily always saved by her brother. Tao Tao thoughtfully reflects on the recent string of suspicious accidents. She realizes with a dawning suspicion that they all started after her big brother returned. Long Chen Ye startles her by leaning in close and asking what's on her mind. He asks if she's losing her trust in him, and she recalls from the novel how his gentle smile hides a ruthless nature, making her question his sincerity. Looking at his face, she senses a deep loneliness in his eyes. She remembers he was raised by their grandfather, controlled like a puppet on strings. Recalling how their father treated him like an outsider, she realizes he just wants unconditional acceptance and declares, "I trust you, brother." She explains that he's always there to protect her, proving he cares and is watching over her. He gives her a grateful smile and thanks her as she giggles happily. A hand shoves Tao Tao from behind with sudden force. "Wah!" she cries out as she's pushed toward the lake, and Long Chen Ye yells her name in panic. As she falls, she sees Maid Kelly's sinister reflection in the water and realizes with horror that she was the culprit. Splashing into the cold water, she desperately screams for someone to save her. Long Chen Ye rushes to the edge of the water, frantically telling her not to be scared. In the churning water, Long Chen Ye struggles to hold a panicked Tao Tao, telling her he's got her. Suddenly, a sharp pain shoots through his leg as his calf cramps up. His strength failing, he sinks beneath the waves, desperately hoping someone will save them. A hand plunges into the dark water, reaching for the drowning children. Pooh! Their father, Mr. Longchen, emerges from the lake with both of his children and collapses on the shore. Caw! Long Chen Ye sputters and coughs up water, having been pulled to safety. Holding an unconscious Tao Tao, Mr. Longchen gently pats her cheek, trying to wake her. He glares at his son, furiously asking how he could have let this happen. Long Chen Ye tearfully apologizes, but his father angrily scolds him for jumping in, revealing he was worried for his son's safety too. Delaying the lecture, Mr. Longchen orders someone to fetch a doctor immediately. The scene shifts to a grand bedroom where a doctor tends to Tao Tao as her father watches over her. The doctor reassures him she's fine, and Tao Tao slowly wakes, calling for her daddy. Her father leans in close, asking if she feels unwell, and she whispers that she's fine. Tao Tao apologizes for worrying him, then asks for her brother, which visibly annoys her father. He asks if Long Chen Ye threatened her, but Tao Tao frantically defends him, pleading not to punish him. Mr. Longchen points out that he saved her too, and asks why she isn't concerned about him. Tao Tao throws her arms around him, calling him the coolest for saving her life, then immediately asks where her brother is. Just then, her other two brothers peek in, asking worriedly how she's feeling. Tao Tao happily tells them she's fine and is relieved her big brother is safe too. Long Chen Ye thanks his little sister for defending him as she giggles happily. He then turns and formally thanks his father for saving him as well. Mr. Longchen instructs the steward to prepare ginger cola for the children to warm them up. Tao Tao realizes her father jumped in without hesitation and is touched by his unspoken care, seeing it as a step forward for their family. Her father's expression turns serious as he asks Tao Tao if she saw who pushed her. Tao Tao begins to name the culprit, starting to say the name K. Before she can finish, Maid Kelly bursts into the room, crying out in relief. Kelly puts on a dramatic show of grief, leaving Tao Tao utterly bewildered. Tao Tao points accusingly at Kelly, but the maid denies everything, tearfully questioning how Tao Tao could say such a thing. A flashback shows Long Chen Ye looking somber as a voice notes that all the mishaps began after he returned. As Kelly pleads her innocence, Tao Tao recoils, but her father pulls her close, calling the maid noisy. Mr. Longchen looks at his son and states with conviction that he believes him.
Touched by his father's trust, Long Chen-ye looks up as his father asks if he can handle the situation. Long Chen-ye smiles reassuringly, promising his father he can rest easy. He confronts Kelly, questioning her bee sting and noting that those bees don't attack unprovoked. He reveals he found special pollen on her clothes, the same kind that attracted the bees, and she got stung when the pollen rubbed onto his hand as she pushed him. When she demands evidence, Long Chen-ye calls for the lights to be turned off, and his third brother obliges. Plunged into darkness, the room reveals glowing handprints on everyone's clothes, stunning them all. Mr. Longchen looks down in surprise at the glowing powder on himself and Tao Tao. Tao Tao explains that she had wanted to see fireflies. Her second brother, Feng, proudly adds that he scattered fluorescent powder to create the effect for her. In the dark, Long Chen-ye grabs Maid Kelly's wrist. Holding up his own glowing hand, he tells Tao Tao to turn around. A glowing green handprint, the mark of her attacker, is clearly visible on Tao Tao's back. He holds Kelly's hand up to his own, preparing to compare their sizes to the print. Cornered, Kelly pulls a dagger and accuses Long Chen-ye of betraying their master as Tao Tao screams a warning. The maid lunges with the knife, declaring, "This is what happens to traitors." Long Chen-ye stands his ground, shouting he's had enough of being a puppet on strings. Just as the blade is about to strike, Mr. Longchen swiftly moves to shield his son. With a powerful kick, he sends the maid flying across the room. The butler and his men appear, and Mr. Longchen gives the order to seize her. As Tao Tao calls her father super cool, Maid Kelly is restrained, laughing defiantly and warning them not to get cocky. Held firmly, the maid smirks, declaring they'll never defeat her master. Holding his daughter, Mr. Longchen glares down at the captured maid, vowing revenge if her master ever dares to lay a finger on his child again. As he walks away with Tao Tao, he continues his thought, and furthermore. Kelly looks on in horror, realizing the weight of his words. With cold resolve, Mr. Longchen declares that Ye will not be going back. In a grand hall, Long Chen-ye approaches his father. He cautiously asks if he truly doesn't have to return to his grandfather's house anymore. Kneeling, his father gently touches his face, asking if he wants to go back while noting his wound is almost healed. Long Chen-ye simply asks why. Long Chen-ye presses for an answer, questioning his father's sudden change of heart after years of dislike and distrust. His father smiles softly, assuring him that he's always trusted him. Tao Tao chimes in, asking why he didn't want her big brother to come to the villa then. Mr. Longchen explains he knew the old man would force Long Chen-ye into things he didn't want to do, so he kept him away to protect him from having to obey. Looking his son in the eyes, Mr. Longchen sincerely apologizes to Ye. Long Chen-ye shouts that he's sick of being a puppet, and his father pulls him into a tight embrace, admitting he didn't realize how much his son was suffering. Long Chen-ye smiles through his tears, saying it's his duty as the eldest. Oof, Tao Tao gives his leg a little kick, insisting that the oldest shouldn't have to suffer. She points to her other two brothers, stating that none of them should suffer. With sparkling eyes, she declares that no matter how many brothers she has, none of them should have to suffer. Touched by her words, Long Chen-ye looks at his little sister with a warm, grateful smile. Feeling left out, their father interjects, asking what about him, much to his eldest son's confusion. Tao Tao pats her father's head, playfully calling him a dummy for not expressing himself clearly and causing a misunderstanding. She reflects that her villain dad isn't actually scary, just bad at communicating his feelings. Mr. Longchen's turns serious as he holds Tao Tao, questioning his children for sneaking out late without telling him. Tisk! His white-haired son grabs his sleeve, pleading for forgiveness and explaining they knew he would have said no.
Tao Tao snuggles close, assuring her father he can't be mad anymore.
Mr. Longchen tries to act stern, but is secretly overjoyed. His third son complains about the double standard, insisting he was just worried and wants to be included next time.
Tao Tao excitedly suggests they all go see the fireflies again, bringing their dad along this time.
Wah! She cheers, overjoyed at the idea. The family stands in a field of flowers, surrounded by a magical swarm of glowing fireflies. Mr. Longchen holds a happy Tao Tao as he and his 3 sons enjoy the beautiful night together. Later, he gently places a sleeping Tao Tao into her bed. He turns to his sons, telling them they should all go to sleep as well. He is surprised to find all his sons have already fallen asleep in the bed with their sister. He sighs softly and pulls the blanket over his sleeping children, acknowledging it's been a long day.
In his sleep, Long Chen Ye grabs his father's sleeve and murmurs for him not to leave. Mr. Longchen gently watches over his son, promising that from now on, he will always be with him. The father lies down in the large bed, finally at peace with all his children sleeping beside him.
The scene shifts to Long Chen Hongyu's villa, where a chessboard is violently swept aside as he roars about being defied.
In the shadows, the old man declares that since they refuse to be obedient, it's time to start a new game of chess, before a bonus comic shows a small foot kicking a man's face. A bonus sketch depicts the father looking utterly exhausted, comically pinned down in bed by his sleeping children. Arriving at the magnificent Long Chen Li's villa, Tao Tao joyfully exclaims that she's finally home. She happily holds a woman's hand, thinking this is the first time she's ever looked forward to coming home. She beams, grateful to finally have a family of her own as her brothers chat happily. Her father picks her up, asking why she's smiling so happily.
She hugs him, explaining she's happy to see him and her brothers, then asks to be put down.
Tao Tao celebrates with her brothers, excited that their family is now complete. Watching them, her father thinks she seems settled, but then his expression darkens as he wonders, "Who on earth are you?" A mysterious girl with long, light brown hair stands with her back to the viewer in a sunlit grove. A young girl resembling Tao Tao, but with a different hairstyle, chases butterflies in a grand garden as a white-haired boy calls out to her. A girl in a crown makes a birthday wish, deciding to stay here forever. She blows out her candle, determined to protect her family from the plot. Her 3 brothers wish her a happy birthday, overwhelming her with presents as she thanks them. Her father presents a small gift box, which her white-haired brother scoffs at for being cheap. With a menacing glare, the father asks what was said, as the boy thinks he's a cheapskate.
The box opens to reveal a stunning diamond star necklace, leaving Tao Tao breathless with joy.
Her father is glad she likes his gift, and she thanks him with a bright smile. Wearing the beautiful necklace, she exclaims how much she loves it. Tao Tao gives her father a thank you kiss, prompting her brothers to argue over who gets a kiss first. Her father watches her, thinking that her love for stars means his daughter is just like her. A butler delivers a banquet invitation from the old master, who insists the children attend to hear an announcement about an arranged marriage with the Murong family. The eldest brother confirms he saw Mr. Murong discussing a marriage alliance with their grandfather, shocking his white-haired brother, who tearfully doesn't want a stranger to move in. The scene transitions to a magnificent sun-drenched estate. Dressed in a lovely blue gown, Tao Tao is ready for the banquet. The eldest brother vows to cause a scene to deter the Murong family, and his siblings all nod in agreement, supporting his plan. The family arrives at the grand hall, where the eldest son addresses his grandfather. The stern, blonde-haired old man summons them to come here. He formally introduces them to Mr. and Mrs. Murong. The father's gaze is captured by a beautiful, smiling young woman with light brown hair surrounded by lilies. The father warns his own father not to use him, refusing to let him have his way. The grandfather scoffs dismissively, saying he's not interested in him, leaving his son confused. The grandfather addresses the guests to announce the childhood engagement and marriage alliance between one of his grandsons and Miss Wang Qing of the Murong family. The three brothers react with collective shock and disbelief. A profile introduces Murong Wang Qing, the female lead of the original novel, whose arrival caused the brothers to turn against each other. The scene focuses on the delicate pink roses surrounding the heroine. Cao Cao realizes this is the fated banquet scene from the novel as she and Murong Wanxing lock eyes. She recalls the original story. The brothers fall for the heroine, their family faces a tragic end, and the eldest brother dies of despair, unable to win her love. The second brother's tragic fate is recalled. He attempts to poison the male lead, but dies after drinking the poison himself. Lastly, the third brother's path to ruin is shown. He spirals into crime while fighting for the heroine and ends up in prison. As an image of the white-haired brother in shackles appears, Cao Cao resolves to prevent that ending, while her brothers tremble in fear beside her. Anxious, she decides she must ruin the brothers' first meeting with the heroine and desperately tries to remember how they meet. Crash! A boy bumps hard into the heroine, who cries out in surprise. Murong Wanqing stumbles backward with a startled cry. A hand reaches out to steady her as she looks up, a voice warning her to be careful. A white-haired boy named Si Kong Jing catches her, asking if she's all right as she stammers her thanks. Tata recognizes Si Kong Jing as the novel's male lead and realizes what scene is about to unfold. Just as predicted, her brothers approach Miss Murong to check on her, and she replies that she is fine. Cao Cao knows this is the moment her brothers are drawn to the heroine's kindness, setting the wheels of their tragic fate in motion. Her brothers hear the commotion and wonder if they should call a doctor. Cao Cao shouts for her brothers to stop, confusing them as she panics over what to do next. Ouch! Feigning injury, Cao Cao cries out that she's twisted her ankle and it hurts. Her brothers rush to her side, one going for a doctor, while Cao Cao frantically wills the approaching heroine to stay away. Oh dear! In a desperate move, Cao Cao lunges forward and hugs Miss Murong. Crying pitifully, she begs Miss Murong to take her to the doctor, claiming her clumsy father and brothers can't help. Miss Murong kindly agrees to look after her, and Cao Cao silently cheers. The eldest brother asks Miss Murong to take care of his sister, while Cao Cao internally urges him to go away. With her plan succeeding, Cao Cao happily lets Miss Murong carry her away, exclaiming how much her ankle hurts. Watching them leave, Sikong Jing suspiciously wonders how she could have twisted her ankle on flat ground. He continues to observe them, trying to figure out what she's plotting. The scene shifts to an overview of the beautiful villa garden. Peeking at Miss Murong, Cao Cao feels relieved, believing she's successfully altered the tragic plot. Cao Cao cheerfully tells Miss Murong her foot is better and she can return to the banquet. Miss Murong kindly invites her to just call her Wang Qing, while Cao Cao wonders why she's being stared at. With a knowing smile, Wang Qing asks if Cao Cao's foot was ever actually injured. Flustered, Cao Cao nervously stammers, trying to deny that she lied. Wang Qing playfully pinches her cheek, revealing she saw that Cao Cao's ankle never touched the ground when she fell. With teary eyes, Cao Cao tries to explain that she never meant to deceive her. Forcing a smile, Cao Cao is told by a kind Wang Qing that she looks better that way and won't be pressed for her reasons. Wang Qing asks her to promise she'll tell her first if she ever wants to explain, leaving Cao Cao stunned by the heroine's unexpected cuteness. Cao Cao thanks her and encourages her to hurry back to the waiting guests at the banquet. Wang Qing crouches by the roses, saying she prefers the fresh air to the noisy hall. Cao Cao grows suspicious, recalling that the heroine in the novel was supposed to love crowds and high society. Wang Qing holds up a pink rose, remarking how lovely it is to simply admire the flowers. Tao Tao brightens, telling Wang Qing that the flower is as pretty as she is. A boy's shout echoes, demanding Long Chen Tao to let go of Miss Murong, startling them both. The boy Sikong Jing angrily confronts Tao Tao, who looks up in confusion. He turns to Wang Qing, asking worriedly if Tao Tao forced her to come out here. Wang Qing clarifies she came willingly, but Sikong Jing accuses Tao Tao of faking her injury to lure her away, citing his father's distrust of the Long Chen family. Tao Tao shouts that she just doesn't want her brothers liking Wang Qing, then frets that her acting was too obvious as Sikong Jing accuses her of fearing Miss Murong will steal her spotlight. Panicked, Tao Tao nearly blurts out that she's afraid of what will happen in the novel. Wang Qing steps between them, calmly telling young Master Sikong that Tao Tao isn't a bad person. Sikong Jing fumes, questioning why she would lie, and claiming the Long Chen family uses deceit, but Tao Tao just tells him he's noisy. A white-haired boy appears, introducing himself as Sikong Fei, Sikong Jing's brother, and playfully scolds him for bullying a child. Stunned, Sikong Jing turns to find his older brother has arrived. From a short distance away, Sikong Fei admits he came to watch the show. He smiles, confessing he enjoyed. Tao Tao eyes him nervously as he gets closer. He leans down, asking if she is indeed the little girl from the Long Chen family. Tao Tao introduces herself as Long Chen Tao, finding him familiar, and he introduces himself as Sikong Fei, apologizing for his brother's actions. Sikong Jing protests, reminding his brother that their father said the Long Chen family are bad people. Tao Tao realizes Sikong Jing is afraid of his older brother, who calmly explains to him that business competition doesn't make people evil. Sikong Fei instructs his brother to take Miss Murong back inside. Tsk. Sikong Jing sticks his tongue out at his brother's back before leaving. As they walk away, Miss Murong waves a friendly goodbye to Tao Tao. Tao Tao gratefully thanks Sikong Fei for getting her out of the situation. He leans in menacingly, commenting that she seems to be blending in well, causing her to panic. Tao Tao is terrified, having no memory of this character and no idea how to handle him. Sikong Fei smiles, pointedly asking if she's not really from his world. Tao Tao feigns ignorance, her mind racing as she wonders who on earth he is. He presses her, asking what she meant when she said she was afraid things would be like in the novel. He corners her against a tree, demanding to know why she is keeping her brothers away from Miss Murong. Trapped, Tao Tao bursts out that she's just jealous of how beautiful Miss Murong is. She pushes him away in a fluster and runs off, saying she has to leave. Watching her flee, Sikong Fei smiles thoughtfully, wondering if she is the one he's been searching for. The scene transitions back to the grand estate. When Tao Tao returns, her father and brothers rush to her, with the eldest brother angrily saying he almost went to confront Miss Murong for her. Her brothers fuss over her, and she quickly reassures them she's fine, explaining that she just wandered around after her foot felt better. Across the hall, she spots Sikong Fei walking away. He turns back and gives her a final, knowing smirk. Tao Tao shivers nervously, unsettled by the encounter with that strange man. The white-haired brother asks what's wrong, as the blonde brother offers to confront Sikong Fei, but Tao Tao frantically tells him no. She shoves her brother away, desperately telling him not to go over there. Aha. Forcing a laugh, she claims she's just tired and wants to leave the troublesome party. Her father gently agrees to take her home, and she happily nods. The grandfather scoffs at their disgraceful fussing, but thinks he can still make use of the situation. As her father carries her, the grandfather sternly declares that one of the boys must marry into the Murong family to help them rise. Defiantly, Her father states that neither he nor his children will ever be his pawns. Haha, the grandfather smirks, retorting that they'll see who wins this gamble.
He turns and walks away, leaving the tense challenge hanging in the air.
The scene transitions to the grand Longchen villa under a full moon.
Sigh. Back home, Tao Tao worries that her grandfather's interference has made everything spiral out of control.
She flops onto the sofa, despairing that the novel's world won't let her family live in peace. Recalling Si Kongfei's strange words, she wonders if he might be a transmigrator, too. As she tosses and turns in frustration, her brothers enter and ask what's wrong. The white-haired brother bravely declares he will handle the engagement himself to stop their grandfather, leaving Tao Tao stunned. He calmly explains that he can simply cancel the marriage when he's older. Her other two brothers praise his clever idea, though the red-haired one notes their grandfather will be ruthless. Danger! Tao Tao leaps up in a panic, shouting that they absolutely cannot do that. Wah! She desperately pinches their cheeks and headbutts one to stop their reckless plan. She thinks her brothers have wild ideas and reaffirms she must keep them from meeting Miss Morong. Her father sits and hugs her, firmly stating that his children will never be used as bargaining chips in his fight with their grandfather. Surprised by his decisiveness, Tao Tao realizes they are now free from her grandfather and the Morong family. He reassures Tao Tao, promising to arrange for her protection so their grandfather can't harm her. Feeling deeply cared for, Tao Tao sits up straight, no longer afraid, as her father reminds her that school starts tomorrow. She looks up at him, excitedly announcing she's going to first grade tomorrow. Tucked into her large bed, she feels relieved that everything seems to be settled for now. The next day begins at a grand school campus adorned with blooming cherry blossoms. Tao Tao sweats nervously as she overhears other students whispering about the infamous Longchen family. Walking with her brothers, she's mortified to hear students gossiping about their reputations as a sports monster, a genius, and a weird pastry maker. A boy holding a basketball runs past, tauntingly telling someone to try and get his ball. Her white-haired brother swiftly blocks the ball, startling the boy into an apology. Nearby, two girls wonder who the little girl is that the famous Longchen brothers are following. The red-haired brother flashes a menacing look at the girls, who stammer nothing and turn away. A shy girl approaches the blonde brother, offering him a gift. Tao Tao throws her arms out, shouting for her brothers to stop and promising to protect them, much to their confusion. She scolds them for being overprotective, insisting she can take care of herself, and they reluctantly agree to just follow her quietly. She folds her arms in frustration, complaining that their behavior will scare away any potential friends. Suddenly, Morong Wang Qing calls out to her, equally surprised to see her at the same school. Tao Tao nervously greets Miss Wan Qing, realizing they are still in danger of the original plot as her brothers worry about her sudden gloomy mood. As Wan Qing approaches, Tao Tao's mind races, certain that she must be interested in her brothers again. Wang Ting explains she's nervous about giving a speech and asks Tao Tao to help her practice, pulling her away. Flustered, Tao Tao is caught off guard, stammering that she doesn't know how to help. Wang Qing leans in and whispers, asking if Tao Tao really wants her brothers hovering over her with no freedom, giving her an idea. Convinced, Tao Tao agrees, and the two girls happily run off hand in hand. As her brothers yell after them, Tao Tao turns back and declares it's a girl's secret, threatening to ignore them if they follow. After the brothers reluctantly agree, Tao Tao thanks Wang Qing, relieved the plot has been derailed, and Wang Qing asks her to drop the formal miss. The two girls happily discover that they have both been assigned to Class 3. Wang Xing beams, thrilled that they are going to be classmates. Tao Tao smiles warmly, thinking to herself how genuinely cute Wang Qing is up close. An announcement echoes across the schoolyard, instructing the children to line up for the opening ceremony. Surrounded by students, Tao Tao nervously holds her basket.
She trembles, thinking that facing this familiar scene again is still unsettling.
She recalls a memory of being bullied for offering homemade snacks, which were rejected out of fear of being poisoned by her poor family's food. But Wang Qing smiles kindly, asking Tao Tao if she can have one. A little surprised, Tao Tao happily offers her a cookie. After a taste, Wang Qing beams, declaring it's the most delicious cookie she's ever had. Hearing this, the other students eagerly ask to try Tao Tao's snacks, praising her and wanting to be friends, which makes her thank Wang Qing in her thoughts. Tao Tao gives Wang Qing an encouraging smile, thinking that she truly is a kind-hearted heroine and that her plan to make friends worked perfectly. A girl with blue hair asks Tao Tao if she knows the scary-looking people nearby. Seeing an image of her brothers deploying a security detail, Tao Tao sweats and pretends she has no idea who they are. A hand taps her shoulder as a voice asks for a cookie. She happily turns to offer one. To her surprise, it's the white-haired boy, Si Kong Fei, who calls her by name. He leans in with a smile, saying they meet again as she stares, stunned. A family portrait of Tao Tao with her father and 3 brothers is displayed. Tao Tao recoils, wondering in frustration why it has to be him again. Thinking, run, she immediately turns to flee with her new friends. He instantly appears behind her, asking why she's running away and startling her. Feigning surprise, she laughs nervously and remarks what a coincidence it is that they attend the same school. He leans in, revealing it's no coincidence. They're in the same class, and he's been watching her closely. Panicked, Tao Tao wonders what he means and if he's here to interrogate her. He casually eats the cookie, complimenting her skills by saying it looks store-bought. Puffed with pride, she boasts that her amazing cooking skills are the result of over 10 years of practice. He calls her impressive, and she instantly realizes her mistake. She frantically tries to shoo him away from her basket, telling him she needs to share with others. He stops her by simply asking how old she is now. He calmly points out that she's only in elementary school, questioning how she could possibly have 10 years of cooking experience. Tao Tao inwardly panics, realizing she got carried away and let her secret slip. He gets closer, asking her real age as she nervously claims she just misspoke. He presses her, asking about the real situation while she looks terrified. He asks if her fear of him stems from the banquet when he suggested she wasn't from this world, but she nervously denies it, blaming it on a simple slip of the tongue. Tao Tao internally fumes, thinking he's spouting crazy, weird things. An announcement over the school loudspeakers instructs students to wait quietly for the opening ceremony. As the call to be seated continues, Tao Tao looks flustered, while Si Kong Fei remains calm. At the ceremony, Murong Wanqing is introduced as the student representative and smiles as she approaches the microphone. Tao Tao smiles, thinking how smart and beautiful Wang Qing is, truly deserving of her role as the female lead. Feeling Si Kong Fei's stare, she thinks a weirdo is targeting her and forces herself to focus on Wanqing instead. Crack! As Wang Qing begins her speech, a loud cracking sound echoes, and Tao Tao looks up to see the stage lighting fixture breaking. The fixture plummets, and her white-haired and red-haired brothers shout warnings as they leap to push Wang Qing to safety. As her brothers check if Miss Murong is all right, Tao Tao watches in shock. She recognizes this exact scene from the novel and realizes with a sinking feeling that the plot still happened despite her efforts. She stares in horror, wondering if she's fated to be unable to change the predetermined outcome. Si Kong Fei suddenly appears beside her, asking if she finds this unexpected development hard to accept. Startled, she spins around and asks him what he means. He smirks, telling her that some things are predestined and that she must accept her fate. A hiring advertisement for translators, proofreaders, and editors is displayed. An advertisement promotes reading more chapters on a specific website. Dao Dao defiantly asks what she is destined for and what she should be resigned to. She confronts him, calling him the strange one for being so nosy about her affairs, which seems to surprise him. She glares, demanding to know who he really is and what he's trying to do. A white-haired boy laughs, telling the girl he was only kidding and came to be friends with her. With a pout, she flatly rejects his offer of friendship, leaving him speechless. He puts a hand on her shoulder, assuring her he has no ill intentions as she looks at him, startled. Leaning close, he whispers that she should pay attention to the scene unfolding between a girl and two boys in the distance. He gives her a knowing smirk, cryptically asking if she's going to let the plot continue. Shocked by his words, she wonders if he's also a transmigrator, but firms her resolve to protect her family no matter what.
She glares ahead with fierce determination, declaring that she refuses to accept this fate.
Huff. Announcing she can't be bothered to talk to him, she stomps away in a huff. The white-haired boy watches her go with an amused smile, musing on her vow and challenging her to prove him wrong. As she runs off, his thoughts follow her, wondering if she can truly change the ending.
As Tao Tao runs, a blonde girl calls her name, causing her to stop and turn around in surprise.
Ah! The blonde girl, Wan Qing, stumbles into Tao Tao as her two brothers trip behind them. Tao Tao scolds them for being clumsy. Tao Tao offers to take a grateful Wang Qing to the nurse's office for a checkup.
An announcer cancels the assembly, and as her brothers try to follow, Tao Tao strictly forbids them from coming along.
In the nurse's office, a doctor assures Wang Qing it's just a minor scrape on her hand. Wang Qing thanks Tao Tao for her help, while Tao Tao internally apologizes for using her to get away from her brothers. Suddenly, a blonde boy bursts in, carrying a girl with dark hair, yelling for the doctor about a sprained ankle. The doctor springs into action, telling the others to wait as the new injury needs immediate attention. Her big brother, Long Chen Ye, rushes to her side, frantically asking if she's hurt, as she inwardly panics that the plot is unfolding anyway. He continues to ask about her well-being with a worried expression, and she reassures him she is fine. He expresses relief that both she and Miss Wan Qing are all right, leaving Tao Tao confused by his calm demeanor. Puzzled that her brother isn't fawning over Wang Qing, Tao Tao watches as another boy offers to help the blonde girl with her medicine. Long Chenye gently pats her head, asking if she was scared, and she realizes with relief that he didn't fall for Wang Qing at first sight. Another boy advises a clumsy Wan Qing to wait for the doctor, but she insists she's fine. Tao Tao breathes a sigh of relief, happy that her big brother doesn't seem to have feelings for Wang Qing after all. Sob. As the doctor comforts the girl with a sprained ankle, Tao Tao recalls her brother carrying her in. Tao Tao asks her brother where he was, and he explains he was helping the dean when he saved a little girl from a falling branch. Her eyes widen in a sudden, profound realization. The key to the plot is saving someone. She understands now that while she ruined the first fated meeting, the plot simply switched to a different saving someone scenario. By saving a different girl, her big brother unknowingly broke free from the plot's control. A hopeful smile spreads across her face as she grasps this new key to changing their fates. A small, happy girl is shown lovingly embracing tiny versions of her family.